Hello, everybody, and welcome back yet again. We are going to be going over this topic again because a major update has just happened, and I do kind of want to go over it some. As you can see, I don't actually have Twitter open this time, but on Twitter, if you actually go to the ActMan's Twitter, which, if I remember, well, more if I can get it to post correctly because I've had some issues with Twitter, um, I should be putting in the chat or not the chat, but the description, I should be putting a link to the ActMan's Twitter. He literally just ended a live stream less than 60 seconds ago. I just watched it to its completion just to try to make sure I had the rest of the information if there was any missing from his Twitter posts. Apparently, there's not. So, for those of you that don't know, if I were to go over here to this, oh wait, nope. Let's just go to this. Um, Whoa, that's a little more risky. Let's scroll down here. Oh, I scrolled right to it and went past it. So if you go to the ActMan's thing, it says the last video he posted was 3 weeks ago. He was actually he actually posted a video like 2, 3 days ago, just a couple days ago. And as you see, his videos are still up. He actually just recently got a warning and actually took one of the videos down because according to the thing, it was due to nudity and there was none in the video. I've actually seen the full video myself and I know that it's not going to do anything. Uh, like, that is completely inaccurate. I think the closest thing he did was he made a satire type remark in the middle and had a provocative seeming, but yet again, there's nothing provocative about sticking a cucumber in someone's mouth. So, like, nothing inherently provocative about that. But I actually have some other channels or some other links open up here. Ignore everything before this link right here, or this tab right here. Um, Everything before this tab is for actually, well, let's see. This is for a game server I've got going. This is for one of my playlists that I am planning on finishing. I had some serious tooth pain to where either I was drinking, like almost drinking Orgel to make my jawline feel better, or I was walking to the bathroom to rinse out my mouth every like 5 minutes. And then here to here is literally an investigation I have going on currently, and then I've got my personal email and that. Which I don't care if you see my name, you guys can't see the rest of my email, so doesn't affect anything with you just seeing my name. But I wanted to go over this little bit real fast just to make sure that that's a more well-known thing. So, we're going to be going into this little situation here. Let me just get that off there. So, QuantumTV, for those of you that don't know, he's actually been bannovating for roughly 4 years. Make sure I got that correct. So, for those of you that don't know, this isn't him, this is someone else. But this channel, Quantum Apotheosis, is actually QuantumTV. If I were to, let's see, open a new tab real fast. So if I were to go to that, it actually, as you see, pops up Next Gen Gamers, which is another thing from QuantumTV. But something you guys may not know is once you have X amount of subscribers, you can actually make a custom URL. Once you have a custom URL for your stuff, you can kind of post about anything. He has actually had multiple channels up the whole time, but that's not quite what I want to go over right now. I want to go over the fact that when you type that address, the one that I just used to open up this link right here, if you actually look up here, see that. Just to prove it, I will do this. Go here, copy. Okay. And the reason this is important is even going back a little bit in this, it still pops up that the account that this address goes to is banned. That's a very important thing here, because that's in April, and it got banned way back here. Just this won't let me go check that for some reason. It just gives me like an infinite loading screen and doesn't want to load. But that is important because that is the quantum apotheosis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, though it really doesn't matter considering the channel doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, I think it's apotheosis. But yeah, that channel was banned by YouTube. And he's been ban evading for 4 years. So that's a thing. But on top of that, I actually wanted to go in here and actually look at the newest videos he's done about this stuff. So I do want to point out this guy is actually doing something a little sketchy that I found out. He's actually posting someone else's, or not someone else's, he's posting like TV specs and stating that they are X, Y, and Z and selling them while saying they are, or saying he's a TV calibrator. Whether he is or is not a TV calibrator, I have done my best to look into him. He doesn't have a license because of people, mainly him, wanting to say people are trying to dox. I'm not going to say his real name, but I've looked into it. He doesn't actually have anything for like TV calibration. He doesn't go to people's houses and calibrate TVs for them because that's how you would actually do that. You have to go to a location to find out the standard lighting situation in whatever room it's in, such as like my TV. I have my TV calibrated personally for how I use it. It is perfect for me. One of my best friends hates how I have my TV set, but it looks perfect to me because everyone is different. You can't sell a well, you can, but you can't sell a TV calibration and state that it is a professional calibration when you are not a professional. Now, the reason I started this is because TheActMan actually got, I think it's a 7-day like mute on YouTube, so he can't post anything, he can't stream nothing on YouTube right now. And I just watched his live stream over on Twitch. But this, and this, I want to go over them, kind of see what he's saying and see what they said, because I don't, well, I know what TheActMan's actually been saying because I've been keeping close watch on that one. Review Tech USA, I don't personally watch, so I don't keep too much of a track on what he's saying, but from the clips I should be able to get enough connotation. But I will say that there are 3 channels that all got videos removed regarding the QuantumTV incident so far. One from TheActMan, one from Review Tech, and I cannot remember the other one off the top of my head. But I know all 3 of them have gotten taken down relating to this situation. I think, I'm Asm, is it Asm Gold or Asmoon Gold? Asmon Gold? Is that, I don't know how to pronounce that still, but I think it may have been him as well. But I do want to go over these again and go over these and check, kind of see what he's saying and what's going on. So, let's see.
Over the last few months, I've been getting slandered and maliciously attacked by the audience of Review Tech USA, TheActMan, Mischief, and a few other YouTubers who wanted to run with the line, QuantumTV is a copyright abuser. They have really been playing heavy into that, and today, YouTube has vindicated QuantumTV. Now, they won't come out and directly say that they were wrong and they completely created this slander campaign because they didn't like being told no. But that's
At least you're off the fact that you keep saying, or you kept saying that it was all because of Elden Ring, because it was not. And thank you for realizing that. Um, what is this? Jesus. I kind of like this comment because the situation shouldn't have lasted as long as it did, but Quantum had to keep trying to one up the others and cause it to get worse and worse. But let's continue.
exactly what happened, and I'm glad that YouTube finally did the right thing for once. And if we read what YouTube says directly, the most important thing is after reviewing additional YouTube links that you sent us, our specialist team did not find any violations of our community guidelines standards. So
Yes, but if you actually look at how YouTube does their investigations and stuff, they don't always actually look into it. A lot of times they just send an algorithm, or not an algorithm, but a bot to skim through and check for things, and it does miss things quite a lot actually. Not to mention the fact that since this stuff all started getting dragged up, you have went through and hid so much stuff to the point where you actually renamed another one of your channels, or not renamed, but you redid its custom URL to go over this one.
basically, all that talk of all those other things that you claim that I've done, you're wrong. Remember when I told you all in the beginning, watch YouTube tell you what I already know? There's a reason I've been so confident this entire time, and it's because
If you were confident, why would you be specifically covering things up? That's where people are getting this like, hey, wait a minute, this is a little fishy. And I do plan on bringing this stuff up, some of this stuff up from my previous episode and from other people's stuff as well when I go through some of this.
genuinely have proof that I A, was hacked, B, did disavow those tweets, and also in addition to that, I don't think you guys know this, YouTube doesn't mediate for off-platform stuff. So if you have a problem with me, you need to take it up with like Reddit, Discord. They can't.
YouTube actually can mediate that. Actually, in their own terms and services, if you have an external link posted that you are in control of, YouTube can actually take action against you on their platform for external links. And like I specified, per their guidelines.
Be responsible for what happens on other people's platform, right? That also is a thing. But in addition to that, like there's so much proof on my end that I refused to show you all because I knew how you would take it. And I tested you all. I put out a little bit of truth here and there. I released a phone call of me talking.
Which I also might add was completely illegal. I have done more research into it, and because you have the phone call recorded, it is actually a crime where you're from Florida due to the two-party consent law, where you're the one recording it and the origin of the recording is in Florida. You are still required to get permission from all parties because you are not a minor, nor did you think that it was You were not a minor, nor did you feel you were about to be taken advantage of in any way, shape, or form or have illegal acts done to you through the phone call. But I also want to point out, as for the validity of that phone call, no one can corroborate it aside from the Actman's mother. And she has, but she has also stated there is a solid 2 minutes missing from that phone call, which means you could have said literally anything in those 2 minutes.
Talking to the act man, being sweet as pumpkin pie to the mother.
Um, no, you were not. You had like veil threated like you you hid threats behind a veil to her throughout most of the phone call.
Calling her ma'am, saying, "Would you please put me in contact with him? I mean no malice." I was genuinely trying to work things out. And you know what they did? They twisted it and said, "Veiled threats of violence and doxing, and I can confirm Quantum is threatening my mother." I would love to know what threats I made specifically, number one. And number two,
Well, you threatened that you didn't want to have anyone's name dragged through the mud. That is a threat. You did. You also said you didn't want people's families to get involved. That is a thinly veiled threat, which, according to YouTube's YouTube's community guidelines, not terms and services, my mistake. It states that you are not allowed to in any way, shape, or form. I'm paraphrasing this a little bit, but you are not allowed to have a veiled threat, no matter how veiled it is. If it can be seen as a threat, YouTube can take it as one.
if you genuinely felt like I was threatening you, why didn't you call the police?
He openly said in his video that got removed, by the way, not Quantum, but TheActMan, he did actually call the police in his county, in Quantum's county, and they're, as far as I know, because I can't go back to that video and listen to it again to re-verify, as far as I'm aware, there is an active investigation into that bit still.
Why aren't the police involved? I've challenged you multiple times to call the police, and you haven't because you lied, because you
Who's the one lying?
were embarrassed that I called your mother. Now, some people might be watching and being like, why'd you even call this mother in the first place? This is a dispute between two men. If you saw other videos I've uploaded, I was receiving all kinds of death threats, black people hanging from trees off of nooses, and a litany of racist crap because of his videos, and they were all in the name of Actman.
Yeah, if they were from third-party people, he doesn't have to disavow them. Um, for anyone who is watching this, to disavow a video, you have to be partially responsible. You can't you can't disprove something that you have no proof of. If someone is stating things like this, which, yes, all serious crimes, and Quantum could just as easily turn that stuff over to police and be like, this kind of stuff is getting sent directly to me, and they have ways of trying to figure out who it's originating from. And the Actman on multiple occasions, including his live stream many times that I just finished, stated he doesn't want that kind of stuff even mentioned. So this is people going out of their own way to this is people going out of their own way to actually send this stuff to you without, well, anyone's knowledge. The Actman can't control person B, C, and D. Like, he even said something to his brother in one of his recent tweets because his brother commented something and said that, and the Actman actually stated he did not condone that kind of talk. Because Quantum has gone so far with this, and this situation's gone so out of hand that the Actman doesn't know what's safe to say because the flagging of videos and getting a hold of people's stuff is actually a seriously negative thing. And like, and I can't stress this enough. Quantum has went out of his way to get a hold of the ActMan's mother in the first place, which is doxing, which is also against the community guidelines.
Now, I tried to reach out to him because surely no person can be this depraved. He surely doesn't know his audience is doing this, but he does know. Because upon finding that out, not only did him and Mischief just kind of allude to the fact that, oh, he could be sending this to himself with their attitudes and their behavior, but it's just kind of like twisting everything even further, which let me know that no matter what I said, this was going to constantly turn into paint him as the bad guy. So I didn't even try. If you're going to constantly say whatever you want, I know the truth. And when an unbiased party steps in, I know justice would be done. And that's exactly what happened here. Let me tell you what YouTube said. Regarding your claims of abusive takedown requests, I can also confirm our copyright team reviewed all the details you provided and determined that there were no violations. So, all that smoke that Mischief pumped up every single one of you guys' asses, talking about Quantum's a copyright abuser, YouTube in writing told you that you're wrong, and there was in fact no violation. They go on to say the copyright submissions made by the other creator were valid, and though they may have been rejected, they were a fair request for review. In line with our copyright policy, whenever a copyright submission is accepted, we give the affected party a chance to submit a counter notification. I understand this is not the outcome you were looking for, but I want to reiterate that our specialist team investigated the claims that you shared and our decision stands. If you would like to schedule a phone call, share additional feedback, thoughts on your experience with YouTube, then please let me know. But note, our phone call discussion will not change the decision as outlined above.
Okay, I'm going to pause here. Yes, that actually is the full thing that the ActMan has posted on his Twitter. You can actually go over there, look at it. Like I said, I'm going to try to get it put in the thing here. But I also stated YouTube doesn't typically look at the stuff. And yes, posting a copyright claim or trying to put a copyright claim or copyright strike against someone, if it contains like their likeness, such as this, it is fair to do. But excessively doing it, which there was sufficient proof that he was actively doing it, it could be taken like in such, I'm trying to think of how to word this. It could be taken in such a way that it is abuse because it was enough of them back to back, and he stopped, as far as I'm aware, on doing this frequently. But, and I will say personal opinion here, I do believe that because the videos that were taken down recently from the three channels that I mentioned earlier were relating to this whole situation, I do feel he had some role in flagging them, but I cannot confirm that, so I can't really say anything about it.
So what this basically means is YouTube told you about yourself. You basically went on the platform, you said behind all your fans and all your reputation, I will get your channel taken down. That's what you said. That video has like over 1 million views on it. I know you must be very embarrassed that you couldn't get the job done. Neither could Review Tech USA with his YouTube contacts, apparently, and all the other people with their YouTube contacts that they... You guys have to understand, you are just users. You do not have the power to snap your fingers and point to YouTube and sick them on creators you don't like.
No, but the YouTube fan base does actually have a right to take down people who are violating policies, abundance of policies, might I add. And the only reason you've gotten away with it for as long as you have is, well, you just have a habit of deleting stuff that you don't think will go your way.
This concept is something you're not understanding. YouTube is telling you you're wrong. You can say I'm a copyright abuser all you want. The company made those policies. You're on the YouTube platform now, and they told you no, there are no violations, and that was fair what he did. What more do you need? You can slander me all you want, but YouTube has spoken. This is like officially YouTube. So upon complete and total defeat, you would think they'd be like, I apologize, I was wrong. I genuinely thought, man, I thought he actually copyright abused, but he didn't. So to be fair, YouTube has spoken, they investigated, so I'll let it go. They can't let it go. So they're all making their videos now, and they'll continue to make their rounds and all that fucking crazy crap. But what gets me is like ActMan basically goes full on Karen, saying like, I want to speak to your manager, Google, for the most part. In this response on Twitter where he goes, I'm going to use YouTube's own guidelines and throw the book at them. I did my homework, and there can be no misinterpretation of the facts. He has to be banned, otherwise this sets a terrifying precedent.
I'm going to pause before he speaks because, like I stated, I did watch the other video. In the other video, he did go through all of that. He states that the ActMan actually does state that there are 30 minutes that he didn't get to put involving, like, harassment, technically child abuse, because Quantum is specifically singling out Mischief's age as being is 16 or 17. I don't know when his birthday is. Like, I don't do my research that much on these people. When I look into them, I literally look for, when I go to look into someone, I look for their name and I look for any information specific to what I'm talking about, which in this situation is Quantum. I could tell you his name. I'm not going to because I don't know if he's actually explicitly said it in a video. I know he does not have any kind of certification for calibrations, and that is what I have on that one. So there's my statement on that. But you have actually violated many of the guidelines, and the ActMan's video actually did bring a lot of them to light, and I really hope, even though it's now set to private, I really hope that it is still, I hope that it is still on the platform, whether it's viewable or not, because that will allow YouTube to actually go through it and look.
A terrifying precedent that you can't just snap your fingers, point YouTube in the direction of somebody you want to destroy, and they, what, oblige? They.
No, it's not that they just, it's not, sorry, I still can't speak a little bit. But it's not that people are pointing their fingers and just wanting YouTube to take care of the situation in its entirety. YouTube is actually supposed to be monitoring this kind of stuff, especially the fact that you know, were banned from the platform, and according to YouTube's guidelines, once you've been banned, you cannot actually have another account. Let me see if I can find that one real fast. Um, let's go to here. Let's see. Oh, well, there's one thing that's hilarious. Because that works. Oh, yes. Okay, let's go to the community guidelines. Guidelines. See, oh, you know what? Let's open that one up in a different tab real fast, just because. Um, see. Let's see. Can I find it? Can I find the specific one I'm wanting? Enforcing community guidelines. Let's try to see if I can find detecting violations. Okay. Nope, get off here. Okay. Well, for anyone who needs to know this, they use the flagging feature if you think someone has violated the guidelines. So, I didn't know, I don't know where that is, but I will be looking at that. Because I do know he has some stuff that is a serious problem. Let's go to the tracking thing. Age restricted content, community guideline streaks. Okay. I don't know where all of it is, or I would be sitting here going through all of it. But there you go. Don't post links in your content on YouTube videos if they direct users to content that violates our community guidelines. This includes links that fit any of the description noted below. Links to pornography, links to websites that install malware. Yep. Links to apps, other information technology, unauthorized access content, audiovisual, full video game, software streaming services that normally require payment, links to websites to seek fundraisers, child abuse, sites selling items noted in our yep hate her links that would violate our hate or harassment policies if uploaded to YouTube. Okay, links to content encouraging others to commit violent acts. He has actually stated he wished people were Pulse victims before, and if you guys don't know what that is, you should really look it up because it's a nightclub that was one of the most deadly things. Don't spread misinformation about COVID-19. He has done that. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, if it goes to any, if it violates YouTube's community guidelines, you cannot have a link to it on your channel. Let's go to this. An active accounts policy. Let's see. Encouraging terms of service violations. If you post content that encourages users to violate terms of service. Okay. Wish I could find it on here, but I can't, and I don't want to spend the time to keep looking. But we'll just look at that again, because that was the quantum apotheosis. Now, let's go back to this and try to
Give
continue.
you your fake cancel culture. They give in to you being hateful because you feel like the world revolves around you. You feel like someone needs to answer to every little talking point you have. Look at my uploads until this video. They're all about my tech stuff because I genuinely don't care. You can say what you want. It's your freedom of speech on the platform. But also, I didn't do
And that's where you've also given some misinformation. You state that your content up to this point has only
Today we're
been
going to
about
kick
this.
things
Let's
off.
mute that real fast because, oh my god, I can't do that. So, you say that, but if I scroll back just a little bit before you ended, because you ended a little after this, there's this. Those are about tech, or those aren't about tech. So, if you're going to cut things abruptly, make sure you're not lying with them, bud.
anything and I know I'm good, so I'm confident in just making my videos and doing what I do in my community. Now, again, I don't know you guys from Adam. You guys don't know me from Adam, so please stop pretending to know me and know what I'm all about. Like, this bullshit you did where you said I threatened your mother with doxing and violence, that was malicious as shit.
You did dox her, or you wouldn't have been able to actually get the information to call her. Because even looking up someone's name does not give you their phone number. And I actually have tried this just to prove a point. To do that, and I did specify this in my other video, you actually have to use a paid service to do it, or they have to have a landline or X amount of other research you have to do.
I released that phone call. If I wanted to threaten your mother, I damn sure wouldn't call from my real number. I wouldn't have been polite and asked her to put me in contact with you. She wouldn't have called me back. There would have been a lot more happening. A phone call is a very weird way to threaten somebody. And that whole, the call in and of itself is a veiled threat of violence. No, it's not, though. People contact people when they're going through some crazy shit and they can't get in contact. And again, like I said, your number was
X-Men has a lot of 1 month ago. See, you're putting a video on there that the link doesn't exist. If it does, I would really love to see it because this is hilarious to me. Like, let me. Oh, you don't even have a description for this, so no one can actually click this. Is there? No, there's not the little. There's not the little icon in the corner. So this video doesn't exist anymore.
the first public number listed and I tried to reach you, it was disconnected, so I called your mother. If I really wanted to dox your mother, it would have been very easy, because as you know, I have her number. Where have you...
See, that right there is what you would consider a veiled threat. You are actively stating you could dox his mother.
You seen that pop up in any one of my videos or on any one of my posts? Nowhere. Where have you seen her name pop up? Nowhere. Like, I'm not that kind of person, right? And even in the video where I released the surveillance footage of you, I literally like, or the surveillance call, I literally like bleeped out your name, your legal name, to protect your identity, because like I'm not after doxing anybody. But again, this is the stuff that goes overlooked. Just like in my public statement video, how I disavowed those tweets you guys dug up, which let's kind of touch on. The only reason you dug them up is because you wanted to reach in your back pocket and come hit me with something so terrible and so awful that I couldn't come back from. You were trying to find something awful about me, not realizing I'm legitimately the victim of both identity theft and I'm the victim of being hacked on multiple accounts.
Okay, well, if you want to state that, I don't know about the identity theft. I didn't see anything about that one. But the being hacked, there is proof that he was hacked. But I have actually found some proof of that. But there is still stuff that goes from before and after 2018 that still lines up with how you talk on this platform, meaning that seems like no jump at all. It seems like you're just taking the next step in a path to make the kind of comments you made on here. And it's not good.
You wouldn't know this because you're not me, and I don't have to share that kind of personal information with you because you feel like you're important. You're just some guy on YouTube. Like, okay, you're nobody. You're nothing, right? Like, it's weird. And this idea that keeps getting propagated by Review Tech USA and all these other people, even though I've shown proof that my other channel was never ban evading. They ignore that entirely, refuse to cover the direct link on Mr. 4K Upscaler's channel proving it. They don't care about that.
Well, using that link, you can actually find out that the channel itself was banned. And that's a pretty big thing, because that channel was Quantum Apotheosis. And it is banned. It was banned, is banned, and now you have another channel that you've changed the custom link to equal out to that.
They also continue with this notion of, like, he said horrible, heinous things. Take every single thing I say out of context. And again, that's what this is about. You're creating a villain for the sake of creating a villain, and you're leaving no room for balanced and open dialogue. But there's one mistake, one flaw, one weak spot in the armor of your plan. You didn't anticipate there being a fair and balanced party to step in with a fresh pair of eyes, look at all the evidence on the table, not just from you, but also from me, and then say, hey, listen, we've looked into this entire situation, and you're actually wrong, like really wrong about this guy. Like, you're really wrong. And again, upon hearing that, none of these guys that are making these slanderous videos are handling it well at all. They're just...
Slander? Let me see if I can find it. What do you call listing YouTubers as great value Avengers? Because that is kind of slander. Sorry, I thought I saw that other video that I was looking for a second.
Just, this is a dark day for YouTube when these kinds of people get to stay on the platform. I mean, YouTube doesn't enforce their own policies, but they do. And they're telling you based off of their investigation on their policies that I've done nothing wrong because I did nothing wrong. But now, if the roles were reversed and you would have gotten your way and I would have gotten terminated, you would have championed YouTube did the right thing and you would have boasted and you would have said, Quantum got what he deserved, I took him down. You would have been the worst person about it. But here I am just literally, even now that I know, like, you lost, I'm not here antagonizing or taunting you. I'm here literally just saying, hey, listen, what y'all did was some total bullshit.
That is taunting. God, sorry about that. But yeah, no, this is taunting. Like, that is exactly what this is.
You labeled me a copyright abuser because I used YouTube's tools correctly, which YouTube now confirms there was no abuse, okay? I mean, fuck. I mean, I could go down every list of every topic.
You improperly filled out what is actually a legal document, just an FYI, that is not using them correctly, regardless of what I'm sure your little admin here would say.
Talking point, and there's no point in doing that. I think personally, as creators, you should reinvent yourself. Do something fun. If you want to be a tech reviewer, review tech. If you want to do gaming, do gaming. Don't be toxic like this. This isn't healthy or normal. Now, one last thing I want to touch on. Review Tech USA loves to say things like, oh, he calls me a pedo, and it's not, oh, that's slander. I arrived at that conclusion after you saying you are a fan of a guy who says the age of consent should be lower for children.
Oh, Vosh? Wait, he's talking about the whole Vosh thing? Okay, you can be a fan of someone without agreeing with what they say. Like, no. That's not how that's not how you draw to a conclusion unless you are one of the most rash people on the planet.
And then goes on video and says that child pornography should be legalized to be 100% ethically consistent because we have slave labor and all this other outlandish stuff. And then you all defend it saying it was an edgy take. You guys have a nasty habit when your boys and your friends get caught doing crap like mischief with the George Floyd post, with like, you know,
Wait, what is this? Yeah, in fairness, he really did call for, not mischief, but Quantum really did call for like a mass shooting again because he referred to people as saying they should have been Pulse victims.
ActMan with this racist stuff that he's posted
Why is that not?
online and all these slurs.
Okay. What? The only other suicide rate as high as trans people as Jews living under Nazi Germany. Trans people do not live in that environment. I've actually looked through his thing, like his stuff, and some of these are, well, most of these are actually taken way out of context. Like, let's see, this one is from 2017. Yeah, these are all from so long ago. See, these are all from 2017. What the hell? How the fuck did I pull this shit off? Okay, cool. That was interesting. But yeah, no. And for one, these are from years ago. as well. Like, you want to claim that? Like that this is that the posts from you were from 2018, while his are from 2017 that you are pulling up. And I want to know how long you spent trying to find these because some of them I have seen and they are way out of context.
And telling people to kill themselves and all that stuff. You guys have a really nasty habit, Review Tech USA using slurs, of saying, I apologized and Quantum hasn't, and that's the difference. You have a really bad habit of doing that because, again, after an investigation, YouTube getting all the facts about those claims that you made against me, they've proven, though, that I didn't do any of that stuff that you're claiming. So, make your videos, have your fun, keep being jerks if you want, but like I genuinely think it's unhealthy at this point. You guys should let it go. Move on and just be creators. Like you're making the platform a terrible place for others
They're making the platform a terrible place. That's the best joke I've heard all week.
with this kind of cancel culture move, and I'm glad YouTube saw right through it. Hey, if you want to follow all my videos and you want to watch everything I do, hey, enjoy the TV content.
Okay, well, we're gonna skip past the end of that because the end of that is just a total lie. Okay. Well, let's go to the next one that he posted one day after that.
So, because the act boy is too stupid, and yes, I said boy, not a man, because this is boy behavior, is too stupid to understand what he's looking at. I'm a copyright abuser by his logic. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. This title that we're under, this is copyright abuse. This is what, 49 minutes in your
Oh, there you go. You were trying to 3 hours? You watched that 2 hours after it came out. What do you do? That is straight up you stalking someone's channel. Because, like, you're clearly not subscribed to him. So that stuff doesn't pop up in your feed. Which means you have went out of your way to actually find this within 3 hours of it popping up.
video you're bitching about, and you even put an arrow to the link to the video. Let me explain the form you're looking at, since, I mean, it's amazing that the master of copyright, judge, jury, and executioner, someone bold enough to say I'm a copyright abuser, doesn't know what an off-platform copyright takedown request form looks like. Okay, so my video is not from YouTube. It is on my hard drive because I deleted the video off of my channel. The title of the video is Elden Ring. That is what was filed with copyright.gov. There is no link to the video because it no longer exists on YouTube because I deleted it. So where it appears in your content, those timestamps show up because it's still on the platform on your channel. However, where it appears in my source is not on YouTube, therefore there can be no timestamp. I don't have it up on a website anywhere, so there is no timestamp. It's on a hard drive.
I do just want to point out, if you want to copyright something, you have to actually put the name correctly. So if you have a copyright against or for something, you do actually have to have it there. Like you say that you went to something copyright.gov. Like I'm going to look this up I'm going to close these so I don't have them littering up here real fast. Nope. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is an actual website. I do want to confirm that. This is actually like a US government website. Um, but yeah. Learn more. Let's please note the time frame of each area before. Let's see. Okay. System, public record system pilot. Let's go to this. So we'll search from this. Huh. Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. There's nothing there. So, I just want to actually, yeah, I just want to point out. He says that's the name of it, correct? Like, let me full screen this real fast. Elden Ring review. Wow. On the copyright website, it doesn't exist. Just so we're all clear about that one.
Now then, since that's the case, how then are you arriving at the this is copyright abuse? And then running with the you're committing the penalty of perjury thing because you
You're committing the perjury by claiming that it's copyrighted when it's clearly not, as I just looked up and tried to show people if it was or not, and it's not. You also filled out the form incorrectly because you are supposed to use your actual legal name, not the QuantumTV. Um, to actually copyright claim something on YouTube, you're actually supposed to have a link to the video that is being done. So, yeah.
don't understand that YouTube gives multiple options for creators to remove content. This is the problem when you've never filed copyright and you don't understand all the ways you can claim content. I don't profess to be a genius of copyright law, but I understand the basics of my rights as a creator, and you don't. And that's kind of scary given you do have an audience. You maybe should at least try to copyright one of your videos to understand how it works. Usually,
Ah. Okay. No, because when you post something under your stage name, it is your property. How you were talking about the copyright.gov thing, one, you didn't actually do that, and if you did, it clearly didn't go through. Two, what is wrong with you because you clearly didn't fill out this form correctly, or stating you did, and that's kind of scary.
if you don't pay $800, you're not going to get your copyright registration number expedited. I didn't do that because I'm not in litigation and all that crap, so I just let them take their time. It take the latter part of almost a year. That is why I don't have my copyright registration number to provide to Google, and that's why your video is still active right now.
Actually, no, the video is still active because even if you do post or do that, go through that process, because if you say it can take up to a year, that is true. Your copyright can take up to a year to actually be implied or implemented. But under the fair use terms that YouTube itself has explicitly stated multiple times, as long as it is additive to the original content, which it was. And that, by the way, is a threat that he just made.
You're welcome. I mean, if you only knew how things really worked in the real world, kid, this whole like dogpiling on a smaller creator thing, using fake information to try to terminate them doesn't work when they can provide proof that you are wrong. Let this be an example of just one of the ways in this hour-long video damn near that you are wrong. You literally went on this tirade, this tantrum, calling YouTube all but lazy, incompetent fools because you didn't get your termination request of another creator. This is ridiculous considering 90% of everything in your video is malicious as shit. The other half is just incompetent. Just your pure incompetence. I mean, you literally have manufactured Reddit posts from ROLED Gaming. I'm sure they're laughing it up right now that you're even using that. You've got false information coming out of fucking Ninjician and Keep It Trashy Tech, literally laughing it up right now, I'm sure, as this video continues to make its rounds, as they went on Review Tech USA to try to slander my settings, because they're threatened by the amount of people that actually love what I do and are moved by how everything feels like they're watching a brand new TV again when they watch my settings. You're upset by that, and they're upset by that. I get it. You're going to every dissenter of Quantum TV, and you're trying so hard to get me taken down. But this is why it failed, because that desperation is not lost on a normal person that could see you frothing at the mouth. You're craving for it. You hunger for it.
Actually, he's not. If you guys go to his Twitch, like TheActMan, you will actually be able to see that last live stream, and he's genuinely like upset at what's going on. He doesn't want this to continue, but at this point he knows like it needs to. And honestly, the more I've looked into this situation, because I have done a bit more research between the last episode and this one, I do agree with the TheActMan. Quantum needs removed from the platform, but I believe that you could do it a lot simpler instead of going through and doing it this way. Like, there are ways that we as a community could go about this in a more reasonable way, but I also think the TheActMan is not out of line by using the platform the way it was intended. Quantum seems to be using it as a little iffy on how he's trying to use it, but this is all what it comes down to. Like, neither side is really doing things the best way possible. The TheActMan has brought way more evidence forth for his claims than Quantum has even tried. Quantum states he has evidence going the other way, like proving his innocence, but...
And that's why you failed, because you overlooked the basics, and you don't understand the basics of copyright forms and copyright abuse. That's why it's a fair and valid request for review. I shouldn't have even had to explain this to you. You should have already known that. The fact that multiple users have shared this one screenshot around multiple channels and still don't know what this form is, that's a problem for everybody who claims to be a copyright expert. Trying to tell me about the 4 factors of fair use. You can't even identify an off-platform form. I mean...
Well, actually, they can and have, but yet again, going back to what I stated earlier and showed earlier, things that you have linked off-platform for this platform are still valid to look at from YouTube's terms, like YouTube's community guidelines, not terms and services. My mistake. Even though their terms and services actually go over their community guidelines some, but anything you post on an external site is still viewable from this.
I mean, for fuck's sake. At the end of the day, you were told no in writing by YouTube. So anything I can say at this point is me wasting my breath. If they couldn't convince you after doing their research that you're wrong and their servers had more information on me than you did with your so-called Wayback Machine, then I don't know what to tell you, because they looked into everything you, Stephen King, compiled, to every call of action that you had all your boys gang up on me with and send to YouTube.
The TheActMan has actually never once condoned a call to action against Quantum. Just have to get that out there.
And it turned up that I didn't do anything, and that answer wasn't good enough for you, and so now you're, of course, copping out, and you're saying it's a dark day at YouTube, and you're crapping all over them because they didn't terminate me like you wanted. You thought you had more power than you did. Accept your loss and move on. This is unhealthy at this point, and frankly, I think it speaks to a positive message, that larger creators can't just terminate a smaller creator because they don't like them and they have a disagreement with them over hot takes of a video game where it led to a DMCA claim that was fair because they don't understand the form. And so now you're going to call me a copyright abuser, and then now you're going to try to call me out of my name in every other context you could think of. And at the end of the day, you're still wrong. YouTube still put it in writing that you're wrong, and it's time to let it go. Like I said, though, if they couldn't convince you, there's no way I can. But it doesn't get any more definitive than them telling you you're wrong, and your decision or their call or phone call with you isn't going to change their decision. The decision stands. So, I mean, take it or leave it, but it is what it is, man. I say make fun content, do what people like you for, because it damn sure isn't this whole witch hunt crusade, picking on a single YouTuber like I'm the most important thing in the world. Like, you got triggered, you lost. Mr. Act Attorney wins every case. Well, guess what? You didn't win this one. Tough break.
So, actually, even though he didn't so far, he's still going through and kind of going over some of that. Do just want to specify that a little bit. But we still have one more.
So Review Tech USA links me to his community post where he shows a picture of me looking like this. And, I guess he thinks it's funny. A little juvenile for a man of his age, but whatever. And then I watched the video, and now he's attacking my sexual orientation and my religion with remarks like I'm some sort of closeted homosexual or, all this weird stuff. And it just like, upon YouTube telling them that my active channel that has no termination, that has no infraction against it is fine. I'm not violating terms of service. And like all their other accusatory statements of copyright abuse has come up fruitless as well. That this is what they've now gone to, attacking a man's religion. Why?
I would have to watch that video to actually know that. And what is that? Review Tech USA? You know what? Let's go ahead and check that out real fast. See if that video's the one that got taken down or not. Review Tech USA. Let's check it out. Nope. Oh, here it is. It's 3 minutes.
Skip it up and that up.
Oh, what the?
Their sexual orientation to be respected, and it wasn't. I'm pretty sure they would go screaming, kicking, and falling out all over the floor about it. But here I am, a Christian straight man, and they target that.
I'm a Christian straight man. A Christian straight man. I swear to God I don't secretly want a dick, 'cause I'm a Christian straight man.
Yeah, no, specifically stating that you are opening yourself up to ridicule as well as just being on a public platform in general is kind of being on this platform opens you up to some of those statements.
Telling you, anyone who has to make sure that you know that they're straight is not straight. Which is fine, but to them it's not fine. They think there's a problem. They have an internal struggle with their cravings of cock in the ass. Can we help them? Here's what we have to tell Quantum TV.
Try to relax your anus. Try to relax your anus. Try to relax your anus.
Okay, well, I'm going to go and say that is a little bit childish, but it is still fair. That is literally what appears to be, from even that little bit I watched, in the middle, like, of a stream, because it says stream highlights, it appears to be like a joke. So, if you want to take that seriously, be my guest.
Let it go. My thing is, people like Review Tech USA have been swatted, right? You know what it's like to be in a nasty situation that's uncomfortable, that's unjust, that you shouldn't have been in. You get it when it's you. You really do. And it's so fucked up. And magically, the moment you get a little bit past that situation, you're right back to antagonizing and going after other people on the platform.
I also just read his comment down here. Audio quality is intentionally awful. No doubt this will be taken, twisted. So here's another purposely low quality video. So you're intentionally doing stuff to provoke people now? Because that's what that seems like to me. Now that's what I've taken from that, considering that's the one thing. Sorry, going back to that comment from earlier about calling, like, Quantum calling Review Tech, the guy from Review Tech, a pedophile. Just one single thing there. Oh, okay, got it. He's intentionally doing this to antagonize people, trying to get them to do it. Okay, let's continue.
Trying to weaponize your entire influence to go after one guy that doesn't even have half of what you have as far as subscribers go. I mean,
Stop using subscribers as a quantity to, like, define popularity, man.
I just don't understand the fixation at this point, right? And for me, it's annoying to see, like, these same people try to do these character assassination attempts, calling me a bad human being quite literally on camera.
Because you have straight up referred to people as needing to be pulse victims. You have called, to quote you, Lenny Kravitz's daughter a half-breed, end quote. That was something you actively stated. You also have stated that Naughty Dog was trying to, like, sexualize minors because of Ellie from The Last of Us. Things like that add up really fast.
As they literally sit up here attacking religion and sexual orientation, which
Yet again, I'm sure you guys probably noticed it too. That definitely seemed like a joke.
violates YouTube's terms of service. But then in the same breath, claim that they care so much about YouTube's terms of service that they made videos called YouTube failed to TheActMan and sided with QuantumTV. YouTube didn't side with me. I don't have influence over YouTube. YouTube looked at the evidence you provided and deemed that everything you said was a goddamn lie. That's what happened, and you don't like that.
Whoa, that's not exactly true. You can't just claim that YouTube said it was a lie. They may have said that they denied the request, but that doesn't say that everything that was stated was a lie. It all depends on what the ActMan filed the thing under. Like, he probably filed it just generally under breach of community guidelines, which, based on what you've been doing, you have covered up every bit of the evidence that actually would have went and proved anything you're trying to say. Well, proved anything they are trying to say more specifically, because they are the ones trying to use your old stuff against you that you have posted yourself. So, I mean, take that or leave it.
That they saw that you lied. And now you're going after my religion and sexual orientation, and you're using manufactured Reddit posts and any other posts.
Oh, now you're just straight up saying that those posts were faked. What happened to them being... what happened to them being, hacked?
That I'm sure will pop up that are manufactured, you'll claim I wrote, and you'll just throw me under the bus, because why not? You're past the point where you got swatted. You're past the point of those allegations where you sexually assaulted a woman and then said she wanted it, right? You're past those allegations of stealing $200 with Big Cheese or from Big Cheese. You're past those allegations of literally, let's just say, banning every single person that mentioned your gastric bypass surgery, right? You're past that point where you were on camera using homophobic slurs. You're past all those outrage points that people were upset with you over. And so now you think it's okay to go back to harming another creator's image and attacking them. I don't know if it's to make yourself look better from all that past stuff. Personally, I think the worst one is your lack of respect for women, right? How you literally go and say that allegedly, let's say that, okay, you allegedly go out and tell a woman that she wanted you to fondle her. I mean, that's amazing that that can happen like that, and you're still on the platform.
You want to talk about slander? Like, because you said it and then said, I should probably say allegedly. So, You are actively giving misinformation.
And you're outraged at somebody who has accusatory statements about posts. We're not even talking videos here, man. We're talking posts, right? Of things that were said. And you weaponize it and you try to make it seem like I'm just completely just awful. And that's your right to do so. It's freedom of speech, right? But then at the same time though, you are going after my religion. There are a lot of Christian people out there. I'm not sure you're aware of this. And there are a lot of straight people out there. I'm not sure if you're also aware of this. Our sexual orientations and religions are not discounted or cheapened just simply because you dislike Quantum TV. So when you make fun of me by titling your thumbnail a Christian straight man, you are going after people who are Christian and straight.
But it says TheActMan totally roasts Quantum TV live stream highlights, more specifically. That's just what's in the thumbnail, kind of like how you have like things in your thumbnails that aren't even said in the video.
It is ridiculous. You should never even need to bring that up. And the reason I bring it up in my videos is because, again, your fans make all these advances, these sexual advances towards me in forms of cucumbers in my mouth or telling me that, like, I want dick or, like, all this, like, really disgusting stuff. It's like your behavior towards somebody who told you already where they stand with their sexual orientation and sexual identity and all that stuff. You don't care until you're told to care about other sexual orientations. It's amazing how that works. And this constant persecution of the Christian religion, I frankly have grown very sick of it, because this is kind of one of those things that shouldn't be happening on the platform in general. And it is dangerous because you could definitely inspire a lot of people with your influence to share these very anti-Christian beliefs and start thinking.
I also just want to point this out because I just looked. The video was posted an hour before he saw it. This man is straight up showing proof that he is stalking other channels.
That they can just attack any Christian in this way. And again, this speaks to the hypocrisy. You want me banned off the platform for what you think I've done. And you...
It's not for what we think you've done. And I'm 100% going to give my side here. I believe you should be banned off the platform because you are creating a hostile, and I do mean hostile environment for general users of the platform. General users, including the LGBTQ plus, sorry, I don't know what the acronym is currently because it's changed a couple times, but the LGBT community. Because you've referred to them as pulse victims. People of like multiracial people that you have referred to one as being a half-breed. Like, you are genuinely hostile to the platform and then want to act like nothing happened.
You showed it to YouTube and they told you that, no, he's fine, leave him alone, move on. Sorry, but our decision won't change. And now you and the TheActMan are putting all of your reputation and influence behind this slander, behind this bullshit, because you can't let it go and be told, no, you all are wrong. And I don't care how hard you fight to try to weaponize what communities you have towards hatred or harassment. But imagine, though, let me word this in a way you can understand. How would you feel if instead of my picture looking like this was your mother, this was your sister, this was your brother, and I had doxed them on my community tab and put their faces out there for everybody to see looking like this, because I thought...
Okay, now you're talking about someone who actively shows their face versus people who have nothing to do with the YouTube community. Where did this jump come into play? Like, I'm going to go back a couple seconds just to see if I missed where this jump came from.
But imagine, though, let me word this in a way you can understand. How would you feel if instead of my picture looking like this was your mother, this was your sister, this was your brother, and I had doxed them on my community tab and put their faces out there for everybody to see looking like this because I thought it was funny. And then I go on and I attack their sexual orientation and their religion unapologetically. I'm pretty sure you'd want it off the platform, right? You would get it then if you saw your little boy right there on my community tab being doxxed. You wouldn't like that shit 1%. And that's the point. The point is, regardless of how you feel about Quantum TV, Quantum TV is still a human being. I'm still a person. And this cheapening and discounting of my humanity, trying to pass it off that all of this harassment and all of this bad behavior is justified because we have a Wayback Machine and we think we have undeniable evidence on you that has been brought to YouTube and shut down.
The link that shows, because the Wayback Machine, if you guys don't actually know, you can archive any website. You can literally archive any website. And it will literally show the website from an unbiased source just using an address, and you can archive it. So back here's when it got banned. Back in, what is that, June of 2018? June what? Does it say? No, it doesn't say the exact date, but it was like around the middle of June, it appears. And up till April, it was still marked as banned. Like, that is a problem. Nope, wrong one.
Okay, that now all this is justified and he deserves it, you get what you get. Now you're stepping into a dangerous territory where humanity doesn't matter anymore. You're out for the vitriol for the vitriol, the blood just for the blood. You don't care about logic or reasoning anymore. And I get it. I know that's what you're after. I know that's what you want. But at the end of the day, this needs to stop. This is unnecessary. I didn't ask to be added on your little community post. I just want to make my television videos, talk to my consumers who I can help, change things for the better for consumer products, and I'm good with that. That's all I'm after on my platform. If you want to talk about Diablo, do that. If you want to do whatever, do that. But just leave me out of it, guys. Like, at this point, like, I can't convince you, right? You've already made up your mind about me. I will never win an argument where the perception is that I'm a guilty human being or I'm a horrible human being. Any attempt I make out of some common sense logic to try to say, hey, no, let me provide you proof, will only be twisted into, you see, he is a horrible human being because this.
Yes, he is a horrible human being because he's purposefully hiding evidence, actively abusing the copyright tools, from my understanding. He's making false claims about copyright. He has spread misinformation about COVID. He has compared people to pulse victims. He has called people half-breeds. He has claimed a AAA game company was sexualizing minors. He has openly doxed someone's, like, well, not, I guess I can't say that, but he's openly obtained someone's personal information and displayed an illegal video regarding said information. He has explained how to dox someone. Damn, I just listed 9 things. Oh, better yet, here's a 10th one. He actively stalks channels / stalks a minor's channel. There you go. There's 10 things right there that make you a bad person. And if you ever do see this, I would love to actually talk to you because I did send you to your email that's on your channel, like that's easily accessible, and a request, like an interview request, so I can actually talk to you and get your input and more of your side of things instead of just the videos you post, because the videos you post, as we heard earlier, and I don't know if it was this one or the one before it, but you actually do have cuts in them, and I would like to post an unedited version of the discussion.
And this and this, and you'll just create more reasons because you already perceive me in a certain way. There is no coming back from the way you see me. There is no coming back from the way your fans see me. But what I would suggest to everybody involved in this is to get a real deep breath of fresh air and understand that there are bigger things than how you feel about another creator on the platform, and that this behavior isn't justified at all. If you genuinely believe I'm wrong, two wrongs are not going to make it right. And you are not getting justice by acting like some sort of vigilante that is going to humiliate and harass and antagonize a human being that you disagree with on the platform. Because at the end of the day, I will still be here on YouTube and I will still be making my content. So there is literally nothing that you can do to change what I am doing on the platform.
Actually, using the terms and service, or not terms service, God, I need to stop saying that. Using the community guidelines, there actually are many things people can do about how you use this platform.
So hopefully you move on and stop the childish behavior. If not, well, I'm sure I'll see more videos and more links. But at the end of the day, I genuinely hope that you get past this, because this is not all right.
Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of that video. What the hell? Who is this and why? Oh, it's PewDiePie. But yeah. So going over everything that's been shown and seen so far, even in the last video, like this video, there was some veiled threats. In this one, straight up saying something about like switching gears completely from like the YouTuber's face with that stuff. They've introduced themselves to the platform. They are open to that because that is how public sites work. That just is how public sites work. If your face is on there, your face is fair game. If you post a video, someone can take a screenshot and be like, "Hey, guess what? This is how this is gonna be." That is how public platforms work. But there is a difference between, hey, let's make a jokey video about this situation. Because typically, and I will say this, typically when someone gets really defensive and claims straight out that they are a Christian straight male or a Christian straight female, typically they have some dark thoughts. And I don't mean like dark as in they want to do some bad. I mean dark as in they have like homosexual urges and they want to try to hide that. It's not them stating you are definitely gay because X, Y, or Z. No, it is them stating that that's a little suspicious that you feel you have to specify. It, I hope this message is getting through properly. But I guess I'm going to leave this here, kind of let you guys do some research of your own, as well as hopefully I can hear back from either Mischief, Quantum, or TheActMan, hopefully all three. But I will see everybody next time. Peace.